want to broaden this out and talk a little bit about the Celtics in general, because to me it's a fascinating case of, are you what you were over the course of the season, or are you what you were lately? I mean, they're really high in the Hollinger Power Rankings, which accounts for performance of late. Their defense has been crushing, but when you look at the whole breadth of the season, they're not necessarily better than, say, Indiana, and perhaps are considered more of a title contender because of what they've done in the past. So that's the question I'd ask. It's a very broad one. Are the Celtics what they are lately, or are they what they've been over the course?
Well, I think that definitely the Celtics have changed dramatically in that their personnel is different. They don't have some of the guys who've been hurt. Owens, they don't have. O'Neal is who I mean to say. Sorry, they don't have Jermaine O'Neal. They don't have Chris Wilcox. They definitely don't have Owens. They moved Garnett to the 5, and they're bringing Allen off the bench. So materially, this is a different team than it has been. And I think that some of those adjustments have been really effective. I love having Ray Allen off the bench for them with KG in the second unit, because basically the Celtics, as they're never going to just blow teams out with their offense, score 120 points. But if they can get a consistent amount of scoring, that just kind of keeps them going along throughout the game, they can blow teams out with their defense just by getting stops for 6 straight minutes. And maybe they don't score every time down, but they score a lot more than their opponents. So I think this is a different team. I don't think that they are that much better than Indiana. If they are, I really like the Pacers. But I think this is a better team than the first half of the season, no question.
It's a better team. I'm concerned with the bringing Ray Allen off the bench for the simple fact that I think you can really tighten up your defense when he's not in the game. If you want to trust Avery Bradley to knock down jumpers, that's fine. I know Garnett and Bass can stretch it out to 20 feet and hit jumpers just fine, but I would much rather have I think that you focus in on Pierce, you focus in on Garnett inside, and you don't worry about the outside shooting. I think that when you've got Allen in the game, you just can't stray from shooters as easily. And as good as Bradley is, I love the combo of Bradley and Rondo up top. They are harassing backcourts like crazy, and it really makes it hard for opposing teams to get into their offensive sets. But if you're going to trust Bradley and Bass to start off games offensively for you, you're going to be in trouble if you can't get in transition.
I kind of wonder. I wonder if this new offense that they're running, this sort of inside-out approach, where the big men are the shooters and the guards are the non-shooters. I wonder if it can work going forward. It kind of reminds me of another Boston team, the Patriots, having this offense that's dependent on tight ends. the Boston Patriots having this offense where the tight ends from the inside out are going deep, and it's an inverted offense that way. I almost suspect that teams might catch up a little bit, that they're caught a little off guard by Garnett at center and this new approach, and that it's something that they can perhaps account for and adjust to once the playoffs come around. I have no clue, but that is a concern of mine on behalf of the Celtics.
Yeah. Bradley is a limited player, and I don't think they're dramatically necessarily better than they were. A lot of players are playing incrementally better, and then you see, they've had frankly a weaker schedule, even though they have a couple nice wins over good teams, especially the Heat, who they've pounded twice in 2 different games. But I think this is a really important thing to note about Avery Bradley. Right now, his nickname, the only one I've seen, is Honey Badger. Fine. That's associated with that LSU cornerback, though, who played really well. And Brent Musburger, as my dad always makes me call him Burnt Cheeseburger, called him in the game. He's like, Honey Badger, don't care, when he got a sack. Let's not call Avery Bradley Honey Badger. Avery Bradley's nickname comes from Futurama. It's been time for there to be a Futurama nickname in the NBA. Oh Avery Bradley's nickname, Clamps! He gives them the clamps. And if you don't know about clamps, you got to get up on your Futurama. You can watch that video, although there isn't quite enough live motion clamping.
Oh, there's
Basically,
never enough.
his only activity is clamping, and Avery Bradley's real skill is just clamping down on people on the perimeter. His nickname, Clamps. He gives them the clamps. It's over. I don't want to hear anyone call Avery Bradley by any other nickname, even Avery.
It will definitely help him with the S&M market sponsorships. It's a good way to up the Q rating. I'm all
That's
for
a
it.
market?
It's a big deal in Boston.
Oh, that's a market. That's a huge deal with the Boston Patriot fans.
All right, let's go to audience questions, see what we got in here. Now that we've talked about ice, what kind of clamps are you thinking? Just generic, one-size-fits-all clamps?
Definitely nipple clamps.
About?
I think that's
Zach, you're not answering that?
No.
Here's an interesting question for you, Zach.
Zach is prudish.
You wrote about this. Should the Wolves shut down Kevin Love for the year?
Absolutely.
With this concussion.
There's no doubt in my mind. They're literally playing for nothing right now. Everyone is dropping like flies on the team. Concussions are a scary thing. His appears to be mild, which is great. Doesn't mean he can't have lingering effects. And I think that the way the NBA is trying to make it to where it is absolutely proven that you cannot play with a concussion. I mean, you have to wait. You have to pass the exertion tests. You have to show absolutely no symptoms. It's the way to go, and it's the only safe thing. And at this point, okay, Kevin Love gets in for, let's say he misses tonight, he misses Saturday, and he plays the final 5 games. What's the point? They're not. I mean, you don't have to worry about like hurting your reputation as a team because you're not tanking because you don't have your own pick, and you're not playing for the playoffs because any loss and you're like statistically eliminated from the playoffs. So why even play him? Why risk the injury? Let him get his head straight, come back next year, and put up another 26-13.
Ethan, did you want to follow? You said I would like to follow in the staff chat. Everyone is waiting for your follow.
I said no. I said no follow in the staff chat.
I thought I was gonna move on to another question. All right, I am really cashing in on those hosting duties today. I will follow. Haberstroh was on here last week, and he said that he is like, this is entirely his opinion. That LeBron James had that statistical swoon for like 2 or 3 weeks after he got banged in the head when he ran into Grant Hill, and he believes that is basically him having post-concussion syndromes. And I think that if Love is not 100% right, as Zach said, shut it down. Quickly, we're going to make fun of and be mean to Chris Bosh. Noam Schiller has noted that Chris Bosh has really been horrible, and not in like is he really a big 3 or is it the big 2 and this other really good guy, but in a way that is, yeah, Dan, we hear you. We can hear you. We're going to have you on in a second. Dan Devine is crooning in the background. All right, let's just bring him on now. We've blown his cover.